Hello, my lovely zodiac signs. Welcome to AstroShamim. Today I'm going to talk about a very important major planetary transit, which is the Saturn Retrograde 2024 in Aquarius and its effects for all ascendants. In this video, I will cover from Aries to Virgo. This event of Saturn Retrograde in Aquarius in 2024, a lot of new events will be happening to us and around the world. From changes in the political scenario to the rise and fall of the market to personal events like marriage, wealth and health will be affected by it. In this video, I will cover each and every aspect of retrograde Saturn in transit and its effects on us. During its transit in Aquarius, Saturn will turn retrograde on June 30, 2024, Sunday at 12:35 am India time, and Saturn will turn direct on November 15, 2024, Friday at 7:51 pm. And the duration of this retrograde motion will be 139 days. Now let us understand what is the meaning and significance of retrograde in sidereal astrology. Retrograde motion is an optical illusion caused by the difference in orbital speed between Earth and other planets. From our vantage point on Earth, it appears as if the planet is moving backward in the sky. Retrograde motion affects the energy of the planet, altering its expression and influencing the areas of life ruled by that planet. The retrograde planet's energy becomes more introspective and internalized. Retrograde motion is often associated with a revisiting of the planet, introspection and karmic lessons. It represents a time for reflection, self-analysis and learning from the past mistakes. Because of high Cheshta Bala, retrograde planets have more strength than the planet in the direct motion. Due to this, retrograde planets are more intense, specialized or require extra effort and attention to manifest their effects. Retrograde motion occurs at different times and durations for each planet. Some planets such as Mercury and Venus have more frequent retrograde periods, while others like Mars, Saturn, Jupiter have less frequent retrograde phases. Retrograde planets should be analyzed carefully and standard rules of astrology are also applicable. An element of additional aspect should always be added while making its interpretation. They may indicate delays, challenges, karmic lessons, or unique expressions of the planet's significance in a person's life. It is important to consider the overall planetary configuration, aspects and house placements when interpreting the impact of retrograde motion in a given horoscope. The retrograde status of a planet adds depth and complexity to its interpretation but can give valuable clues also. Now let us understand the significance of Saturn retrograde in Aquarius sign. In order to understand this, let us first understand the significance of Saturn retrograde. As mentioned earlier, a planet in a retrograde state is considered as strong and has additional aspects to influence more houses from its position. Saturn has a 3rd, 7th and 10th aspect, and in its retrograde state will aspect from one house earlier also. Saturn is the Karaka of delays and denial and is associated with hard work and patience. Some insights into the potential impact of Saturn retrograde are introspection and self-reflection. Saturn retrograde encourages individuals to delve deep into their inner selves. It prompts introspection and self-evaluation, helping them identify their responsibilities, limitations and long-term goals. This period is conducive to reflecting on personal growth and improvement. Reassessing commitments and structures. Saturn retrograde provides an opportunity to reevaluate commitments, obligations, and the structures in one's life. It can lead to a reconsideration of long-term plans, career choices, and relationships to ensure they align with personal values and aspirations. This introspection helps in making necessary adjustments and changes. Karmic lessons and consequences. Saturn is associated with karmic lessons and the consequences of past actions. During the retrograde, these lessons become more prominent and pronounced. It highlights areas where individuals need to learn, grow, and overcome challenges for their personal and spiritual growth. Delays and obstacles. Saturn retrograde can bring about delays, obstacles, and a sense of restriction in various aspects of life. It may test an individual's patience and perseverance. The purpose behind these challenges is to address unfinished business and resolve underlying issues that may have been ignored or overlooked. Inner work and self-improvement. Saturn retrograde provides ideal conditions for inner work, self-development, self-discipline, and personal development. It encourages individuals to confront their fears, overcome limitations, and establish healthier patterns and routines. This period supports efforts towards self-improvement and growth. It is important to remember that the effects of Saturn retrograde can vary from each person based on their unique birth chart and the overall astrological context. We all know Saturn aspect 3rd, 7th and 10th house from its transit position. Currently from Aquarius zodiac, Saturn is casting its aspect on Aries, Leo and Scorpio zodiac sign. Now during its retrograde transit, Saturn will cast its aspect from the previous sign also, which is Capricorn. This means Saturn will be casting aspect over the following signs: Pisces, Cancer, Libra. Each of this aspect is powerful in nature and has the capacity to bring changes to the significations of the houses wherever they are falling. And also note, since it is also going to work from Capricorn, so the aspect over Aries, Leo and Scorpio will also still hold true. This means a total of 8 houses will be affected by Saturn during its retrograde period. Now let us see in detail how this retrograde Saturn in Aquarius will bring positive or negative results for the natives of ascendants starting from Aries to Virgo in this video. Aries ascendant. The planet Saturn is the lord of the 10th and the 11th house and is a very important planet for the Aries ascendant, ruling over the following significations: gains, wish fulfillment, networking, friends, like-minded people, health, wealth, education, children, speculation, occult, in-laws, longevity. Now let's see how Saturn retrograde will play out for them. In terms of career and finance, there will be surefire improvements and major events that will bring the native to a new position by the end of the retrograde period. The native will be hardworking and persistent in achieving their goals, indicating the possibility of a promotion and salary increase. Those natives who are in their senior years and are eligible for a promotion will see significant results. Business-wise, this transit is looking very promising and the native will be able to expand their ventures. Additionally, gains are expected to be substantial and new deals will be locked in for the future. However, those engaged in speculation should exercise caution initially, as improvements will start to appear around September 2024. Unnecessary risk should be avoided in speculative activities such as trading. Nonetheless, natives can consider investing in stocks for future benefits. Natives with grown-up children may receive financial assistance from them during the retrograde period, playing a significant role in their finance. Overall, it is a favorable transit for their career and financial condition. In terms of relationship, this transit is going to give them mixed results. The aspect of Saturn over their 5th house indicates complex situations where they may have to choose between people. For example, conflicts among family members can put them under pressure to take sides. However, there will be beneficial events and quality time spent with their spouse. They will be able to discuss future plans and decisions will be made together. There is also high likelihood of childbirth, as the direct aspect of Saturn over the 5th house indicates good news in this regard. Overall, it is a positive transit for relationship with those close family members such as spouse and children, but mixed results may be observed with other family members. Regarding health, influence of Saturn retrograde suggests the need to change one's diet, engage in regular exercise and adopt a new mindset to improve overall well-being. Natives suffering from health issues will be able to find suitable remedies during this period, bringing relief. Although there may be some initial stomach-related issues, they will ease out as Saturn stabilizes its retrograde motion. Taking this period seriously can lead to better health in the future. Now for my lovely Taurus Ascendant people. For the Taurus Ascendant, Saturn is a Yoga Karaka planet due to its lordship over the 9th and the 10th house. So overall, Saturn rules the following significations: teacher, guru, father, senior, boss, religion, divine intervention, luck, faith, spiritual growth, career, karma, status. Saturn is an outright benefic planet for the Taurus Ascendant and will be retrograde over their 10th house of career, karma and status, aspecting over their 4th house with the 7th aspect, 12th house with the 3rd aspect and 7th house with the 10th special aspect. This means the following areas of their life will be affected during this retrograde Saturn transit: career, status, mother, mental peace, property, marriage and partnership. Now let's see in detail how all this will work out for them. In terms of career and wealth, the impact is going to be significant and very positive in nature. Retrograde Saturn will allow them to work on their plans for future growth and success. By the time Saturn turns direct, the native will be in a very good position both in terms of career and finance. Every step taken by the native in this direction will be guided by the positive influence of retrograde Saturn. Although there will be initial challenges and hindrances, gradually over a period of 2 months after the beginning of the retrograde Saturn transit, or when Rahu leaves the Aries sign, they will be able to see favorable results. At the workplace, the native's influence will rise and the efforts will be appreciated by their co-workers and seniors. The Taurus Ascendant will be able to give 100% and will receive support from their people. They can also expect promotion or salary increase, which is likely to occur during the end of the Saturn retrograde phase. If the native is seeking abroad opportunities and has relevant combination in their birth chart, this period can bring them positive result in that regard. Now for the businessman Taurus Ascendant, this transit is likely to bring solid results as the native overcomes hindrances and comes up with new ideas. An overseas connection may be established during this retrograde transit period. The native may also make new property or asset purchase for business operation. Additionally, they will be able to invest in real estate, stocks or valuable assets like gold. The purchase of luxury items such as a car is also indicated. Overall, it is a very favorable retrograde Saturn period. In terms of relationships, Saturn retrograde has a deep connection with personal growth and relationship. Firstly, it will affect their relationship with their father. The native will be able to resolve all their past enmities with their father and start afresh. At the same time, this retrograde phase will also facilitate reconciliation with their mother or a mother-like figure due to their aspect on the 4th house. Saturn retrograde can also cause health issues for both the father and the mother, so it is advisable for the native to be mindful of this matter. There will be significant impact on marriage and the spouse as well, providing an opportunity to address marriage-related issues. If the horoscope indicates severe placements for marriage, Saturn will intervene during this period, putting an end to ongoing conflicts and paving the way for a fresh start. This means if a Taurus ascendant is in the middle of an ongoing divorce, this will allow the native to welcome a new partner in the future and be free from the burden of a troubled marriage. Personally, the native will experience significant growth, maturity and knowledge. Health-wise, this transit is looking very favorable, and the Saturn retrograde period will bring awareness with regards to health. The native will be able to maintain a good diet and healthy eating habits. Old health issues will start to improve and body will respond positively to treatment. However, due to the aspect of retrograde Saturn on the 12th house, there may be sleep-related troubles. With the addition of Saturn retrograde, this issue may become more challenging. However, due to the positive nature of Saturn, the natives will be able to overcome this issue relatively. For my lovely Gemini ascendant, planet Saturn is the lord of the 9th and the 10th house and is considered a very benefic planet for them. Saturn rules over the following significations for a Gemini ascendant: luck, father, senior, teacher, boss, long distance travels, religion, occult, inheritance, obstacles, spouse income, in-laws. Saturn retrograde will be over the 9th house for the Gemini ascendant and will aspect the 3rd house, 6th house and 11th house. This means the retrograde Saturn will affect the following significations in their life: courage, arms, travel, long distance and short distance both, enemies, debts, maternal relatives, gains, friends, paternal relatives. This Saturn retrograde is looking mediocre for them and the effects will be mixed in nature. Now let's see in detail how it will affect them. In terms of career and wealth, the aspect of Saturn in its retrograde state is looking quite tough. It can bring delays in ongoing progress and the execution of ideas. The native will have to face challenging situations at the workplace. There may be hidden enemies and problems from unseen elements. Frustration can arise as a result, and those natives who are not running through an auspicious dasha in their natal horoscope may face job loss or demotion. Similarly, finances will also be affected and there may be sudden expenses towards the end. Savings may see some depletion and the native might have to borrow money from their spouse or in-laws. It can become challenging, but the native needs to understand that the whole process is happening for their long-term betterment. On the positive side, this Saturn retrograde can bring relief in matters of inheritance and sudden gains. The native will now have support, but the process will be filled with twists and turns. It is very much possible that the native will gain inheritance or experience sudden gains by the time the retrograde ends this year. In terms of relationship, the retrograde Saturn is going to create negative impact in the form of miscommunication with relative and close family member. Within the family, there may be events like sickness, disputes and arguments. Even legal cases within the family cannot be denied. There will be difficult times on the marriage front, and the health of the spouse won't be good either. If combinations for a bad marriage exist in the natal chart, then this transit can activate them. The aspect of Saturn over the 5th house is not supportive, and this can cause a lack of sympathy and kindness. It can also bring obstacles in family planning. The native will have a tough time dealing with children related matters and their tantrums. Overall, it is looking quite negative for relationships, and frustrations may arise as no efforts will bring any positive impact. In terms of health, again, the impact is looking negative, and the aspect of Saturn over the 6th house will increase the dangers on their health. Additionally, the food habits won't be positive, and the native will consume more junk food than before. One of the main reasons for bad eating habits can be stress. If there is any existing health issues, it can worsen during this Saturn retrograde period. Cancer Ascendant. For the Cancer Ascendant, planet Saturn is the lord of the 7th and the 8th house, and it is a malefic planet for a Cancer Ascendant. Saturn generally rules over the following significations: career, karma, needs, father's status, family, speech, food intake, moral values, education and children. And during the Saturn retrograde over their 8th house and will aspect the 10th, 2nd and 5th house, which means Saturn will affect the following significations for them: career, karma, needs, father status, family, speech, food intake, moral values, education, children. Now let's see in detail how this Saturn retrograde will give them results. In terms of career and wealth, the impact is looking negative, and the native needs to be careful and think twice before making any decisions. There will be delays in promotion and obstacles in the native's rise. At the same time, enemies will be very active and create unnecessary stress for the native. If the dasha is not supportive, situations like job loss can also arise. If the native is in business, there will be negative impact and losses will be experienced. No new plans should be made during this retrograde Saturn period, and the native should seek advice from experienced people and reconsider the strategies. Expenses will rise, and there may be situations where the native may not have enough money. On the brighter side, Saturn retrograde is fully capable of bringing gains from inheritance, but there will be resistance from the opponents. Overall, Saturn retrograde requires caution and patience. In terms of relationship, since Saturn is the lord of the 7th house of marriage, the major focus will be on their marriage. Issues are likely to arise in married life. The health of the spouse can also suffer, and financial losses to the spouses are also possible. In-laws may also experience health issues, and differences in opinion or arguments with them can occur. It is advised to remain silent if the native wants to maintain the relationship bond. With friends and family members, things are also not looking good. The native will be misunderstood by people, and there will be a lack of support in times of crisis. Certainly, it is going to be tough in the area of relationships, and it is essential for the native to take care of this aspect. In terms of health, Saturn also has a role as a Maraka planet for them, and this retrograde carries the element of chronic illness. Those who are suffering from an illness will have to make more efforts to find a cure, chances of new illnesses or health issues can also arise. If the planet Moon is located in the 10th, 2nd, 8th or the 5th house, a lot of emotional toll can fall on the native's mind. Emotions will be running high and wild, and only meditation and exercise can bring relief. Overall, it is a period of high alert for them. Leo Ascendant. Planet Saturn is the lord of the 6th and the 7th house and is a malefic planet for them. Saturn rules over the following significations, which is marriage, spouse, health, wealth, luck, religion, father, mother and mental peace. Saturn will be retrograde over the 7th house and will aspect the 9th house, 1st house and the 4th house, which will affect the following areas: marriage, spouse, health, wealth, luck, religion, mother, father and mental peace. As you can see, all the above mentioned areas are very important and significant. Now let's see in detail how retrograde Saturn will affect these areas. In terms of career and wealth, the impact is going to be mixed in nature. A lot will depend on how the native handles the situation. There will be a need to be flexible and make adjustments as per the situation. However, retrograde Saturn may not allow that. Instead, the native may become stubborn and resist the changes that could actually be helpful. There will be pressure to perform and seniors at the workplace will be demanding. This can affect the native's mind and peace. Additionally, the native will face enemies, but by the end of the retrograde period, victory over them will be achieved. There may be a situation where the native misses an opportunity for a promotion or salary hike. But there is no need to lose faith because more opportunities will come in the future. Movement is also seen, but it will be domestic only. Unless the native has strong placements for going abroad, it is unlikely to happen during the retrograde Saturn period. In business, there will be slowness and sales will reduce. There are chances of having disagreements with existing clients. Expenses will rise and the native may have to take loans to keep the business going. Savings can also deplete due to events that require money to fix. However, the income of the spouse will be helpful in this kind of transit and will balance out the situation. Overall, it is a negative and tough transit for career and finances. In terms of relationships, Saturn will be retrograde right over the 7th house of marriage and relationship. This means this area will become a cause of concern. The spouse may suffer from health issues and arguments may affect the quality of the marriage. Issues can also arise with other family members and it is advisable that the native doesn't force their decision on others. The stubborn nature due to the aspect of retrograde Saturn over the ascendant can negatively impact relationships. Overall, this area is looking weak and it needs attention. In terms of health, since Saturn rules over the 6th house and the 7th house, where one signifies health while the other is a Maraka house, this retrograde period of Saturn will become very important for their health and fitness. It can be a make or break period for those who are suffering from an illness. If Saturn is well placed in the natal horoscope and there is a benefic dasha, it can help the native fix the health issues. However, if the horoscope is afflicted and has a weak Saturn, this retrograde Saturn can prove costly for health related matters. Overall, the native will have to watch and track how this retrograde is turning out for them and make adjustments accordingly. Virgo Ascendant. Planet Saturn is the lord of the 5th and the 6th house and has a dual nature for them. Saturn rules over the following significations which will become more intense during the retrograde period: children, education, love affair, passion, digestive system, speculation ability, enemies, debts, maternal uncles, strength, health issues. Saturn will be retrograde over the 6th house and will aspect the 8th house, 12th house and the 3rd house, which means Saturn will influence the following significations for them: enemies, debts, health, occult, inheritance, in-laws, abroad, expenses, short travels, siblings. Saturn retrograde for them is going to be complex, and there will be some areas that will be affected negatively. Now let's see in detail how it will affect various areas of their life. In terms of career and finance, since the 6th house signifies jobs and day-to-day activities, Saturn retrograde transit will cause disturbance in these matters. There will be disturbance in the mind and thought patterns, and a lack of discipline at work will be present. Enemies in the workplace will cause obstacles, and the native may miss an opportunity for a promotion. When it comes to enemies, natives who are in sports and politics will be on the radar during this transit. In business, chances of loss are seen, and issues from workers and servants will also arise. There may be a need to take a loan to fulfill the demands of the business. It is important for the native to stay prepared for legal issues that may arise due to mistakes at the workplace or incidents like check bouncing. The possibility of legal issues will remain valid throughout the retrograde period of Saturn. The chances of financial loss in speculation are very high, so such activities should be paused for a while. Additionally, financial loss due to accidents like fire or theft of vehicles is also possible. Overall, Saturn retrograde requires lots of precautions from their side, and it is best to stay low-key. On relationships, Saturn retrograde over the 6th house, which is the 12th from the 7th house of marriage, indicates issues of all kinds in marriage. Natives who have a combination for a bad marriage in their horoscope will find troubles in their married life. Negativity in this area will come from unpleasant events and arguments. Those who are in divorce proceedings may be able to finish the formalities by the end of the retrograde period. The native may feel aggressive and their speech may become harsh, which will affect their relationship with friends and family. In terms of health, retrograde Saturn indicates health issues that can cause obstacles in all areas of their life. Constant nagging and pain may be present. Old health issues may start to bother the native again. Those who are undergoing treatment will need to exercise more care, and there is a possibility that they may start to lose hope. However, it is important to remember that the dasha is more important, and in many cases the health may not be significant. Instead, it can happen that Saturn retrograde will make them more health conscious. Saturn always wants one to work on their issues and creates awareness. Depending on the placements in the horoscope, this awareness can come easy or the hard.